Coach Miller, and welcome to All Marine Fighter, our Aftermath edition. That Anthony Joshua and Robert Helenius fight, I gotta tell you, it was actually worth having the DAZN subscription for it to be able to watch it. Now, I will say this. I like Anthony Joshua, so before anybody loses their mind over anything I have to say, hear me out before you make any judgments. I want to talk about not only what happened during the fight as well as the outcome, but what happens from here. Because this fight kind of pictures some things, kind of foreshadowing the future. So Anthony Joshua is going to be left with some pretty important choices to make here pretty soon. Now, this fight was supposed to be with Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte, but Dillian Whyte popped dirty again, by the way. Although, I gotta say, I was really looking forward to this rematch. It was Anthony Joshua, Dillian Whyte 2. But, you know, the first fight was really, really good. I was really looking forward to how Dillian Whyte has progressed. I thought he got a lot better over time. And Anthony Joshua was kind of curbed and rode this wave. So I thought this fight, the build-up to it, was going to be really, really good. Unfortunately, the dude popped dirty for a performance-enhancing drug. So with just a couple weeks' notice, not even that, Robert Helenius stepped in to fill the gap for Dillian Whyte. I got to tell you, Robert Helenius, he fought Deontay Wilder, not even a year. It's about a year ago. Not even a year ago. It's been about a year. And he got knocked out cold in the first round by Deontay Wilder. I mean, a lot of grown men doing. The only person that actually lived to tell the tale was Tyson Fury. But Helenius himself is kind of a journeyman fighter, but he's like just shy of a championship level. I mean, the guy, he's huge. Absolutely huge. He's a massive human being, okay? And he can hit hard. He fought just a couple weeks ago some local Finn around where Helenius lived and knocked him out in 3 rounds. So, hey, he was already primed and ready to take on Joshua. And for Joshua, after the kind of disappointing win against Franklin, and I say disappointing is because, Anthony Joshua could have done a lot better. And arguably, it was very close that Franklin could have won that fight. So this was kind of a step-up moment for Anthony Joshua, being that there was talks for Deontay Wilder to fight Anthony Joshua after this, sometime in December or January or whatever. And given that both would have a common opponent in Robert Helenius, so this fight was going to kind of tell, like, okay, well, what's going to happen with this? Even though he was a late replacement. And we all know what happened when another late replacement came in, and that was Andy Ruiz, and that didn't end up so well for Anthony Joshua. So this had a lot of cloud of mystery behind it and what was going to happen. Now, starting right off, Helenius took his normal type of stance, which is a very upright yet wide kind of arm stance. Now, there's a couple problems with this kind of stance, and this is what gave Helenius issues with Deontay Wilder, is that it leaves you open to a lot of shots. It's really relying upon you being able to parry or to move or whatever, because his hands are so wide. I mean, if you got somebody who's fast, you can shoot a jab right through it. And that's exactly what Anthony Joshua did. And really, that's what got Helenius knocked out by Deontay Wilder. It says he was coming in, boom, got caught with Wilder's nasty shot, and he went down. Well, Joshua's jab was just eaten at Helenius' nose. But to be fair, Anthony Joshua was going kind of slow with Helenius, and Helenius' jab hit Anthony Joshua square in the face, and Joshua's nose started to get pretty bloody. Now, that being said, because Helenius is such a massive dude, he's tall, very tall. I remember when he stepped into the ring, and I was looking at him just towering, because you got the 3 ropes, right? And I can say, well, the rope comes to about right here on me, and I'm 6 foot tall, and I'm like, okay, if you're up against the ropes, it can hold you, that type of thing. But he was like up here. I mean, the guy is really, really tall. Anthony Joshua is not some small chicken either, okay? He's a big dude as well, but Helenius was taller than Joshua. Now, why do I bring that up? Joshua is used to being the taller guy, or at least fighting guys who are at least on the same level as him, okay? Height-wise. Why is that important? Because he tried to fight, Anthony Joshua tried to fight Helenius from distance. But this is a massive problem. Helenius has longer reach, and he's taller, and he's perfectly okay with Joshua sitting on the outside. So Helenius was on the outside, picking off Joshua, hitting him with some hard shots too, by the way. But you could see that those shots were actually affecting Joshua, and it maybe kind of made him gun shy a bit to pull the trigger and get in there and go after him, because Joshua might have gotten afraid of getting knocked out. Now, Joshua should have done Helenius Mike Tyson style. Got up real close to him, body shots, uppercuts, hooks, cutting the distance so Helenius couldn't keep him at the end of his reach. For most of the fight, Anthony Joshua was at the end of Helenius' reach, okay? And that's just not where he should have been. But you can tell that Joshua was gun shy. He was afraid for a moment, okay? He didn't throw a lot of combinations to get in on the inside. If he would have smothered Helenius, even if Helenius tried to grab a hold of him, and to be fair, okay, Helenius did grab a hold of Joshua many times, trying to clinch and kind of tie him up, and clinch and try to tie him up. But still, people try to do that with Mike Tyson too. But there's a way of slipping punches, moving, pivoting, that type of thing, that you can cut the distance and be able to knock people out. He needed to do that, but he was just too gun shy to do it. Now, Helenius did do good things in that, keeping Joshua at bay with the jab and keeping him at reach, okay? But one of Helenius' massive issues is not only the wide stance with his arms, okay, the way he holds his arms, but also being so upright and having his chin up in the air. So when Joshua would pressure him, and Helenius doesn't like pressure, when he would pressure him, he would lean back like this and his chin's way up in the air. Now that would cost him later in the fight and get his butt knocked out, okay? But you can't have that kind of reaction back like this, because you can only go so far back. And if you, what the person's basically doing is saying, well, I can judge his distance when the punch is being thrown and I can miss it. Well, what if you didn't judge it right, or he stepped in and you get caught back here? It's a very high possibility you're going to get knocked out. There's not too many people who take nasty shots from back here when you're leaning back and you're getting the full blunt of a shot. You're going to go out. There's a very high possibility that that's going to happen, especially catching you right here on the nerve. You're going to go out. Now, Joshua was very cautious rounds 1 through 4 especially. He did land a few good shots, and Helenius was just nailing with that jab. You could listen in the corner that Derek James, who is Errol Spence's coach, now Anthony Joshua's coach, okay? Derek James is a great trainer, great coach, and he was getting on Joshua in the corner about throwing combinations, closing the distance, getting after Helenius. And he did do that in round number 7, and it was beautiful. Now, Anthony Joshua's history and pedigree, I mean, he came up in the amateurs, won a gold medal for the UK, awesome thing. He's got a very tight guard, very proper technique. I really like Joshua's fundamentals, okay? So how he knocked out Robert Helenius was beautiful, because he did a basic 1-1-2, but it was just a little bit of a variance. He shot the jab high, he shot the jab low, and then came up and over with the 2. Beautiful shot, because Helenius was up against the ropes. So Joshua wanted to close the distance with him, which is what you should do. Multiple combinations, throw a combination, close the distance, get in close. He finally did that. 1, coming up and over 2, and Helenius was up against the ropes. He went to lean back, and Joshua caught him. Boom! Right here on that nerve. Out like a light, he went. He just went down, boom. That was all she wrote. Now you could tell that Joshua had to build his confidence up to really get in there and engage with Helenius. And finally, when he did, he knocked Helenius out. Helenius he's a decent fighter, and he hits really hard, like a bag of bricks, okay? He's decent. But Joshua should have put him away earlier. And had he done those combinations, close the distance, he would have ended that fight a whole lot earlier. Now, there's a few things to learn with this. They're saying at the end of the fight when they interviewed Eddie Hearn that Deontay Wilder is next. They're looking to do this in Saudi Arabia, probably in the January timeframe. I think that'll be a great fight. I would definitely pay for that fight. Big barbecue. That's going to be huge. I've been dying to see that fight. Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. Arguably, hey, it should have been done several years ago, and we would have already had a unified, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. But they're still both extremely good fighters right now. And so, yes, let's get these guys matched up and get the argument settled. Who's going to win this? But I got to tell you what, if Anthony Joshua does what he did with the first 6 rounds with Robert Helenius, but he does that with Deontay Wilder, he's getting knocked out. If he sits on the end of Wilder's punch, he's going to get knocked out. And Wilder hits not more than just a bag of bricks. He hits like a semi-truck. And he's put dudes bigger than AJ down and out for the count. He put Helenius out like got his eyeballs wide open and he's like in La La Land, you know? If Joshua does that with Wilder, he's going to sleep, okay? Who knows what's going to happen with that. But either way, I'm looking forward to that matchup coming up in January. And congratulations to Anthony Joshua on this win. Should have done it a little earlier in the fight, but at least you got the knockout. If you like these videos, go and click that like button. And of course, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button. We always got new content coming out, and I appreciate the support. Thanks very much, and until next time, stay motivated.